Hey, stars, what's going on? It's me, Shot Star. Listen, I'm not going to keep you guys long. I know we getting ready for right here in the New York, New Jersey area for the weekend. It's supposed to reach at some point between now and Monday 65, close to 70 degrees. And from what we've been having, I'll take it. Now, I have heard that it may supposed to rain over the weekend also, but with those temperatures, I'm not beat. Mm-mm. I'm really, really not beat. So listen. Again, I want to continue to thank you for your support for my channel. Um, I know I'm looking all crazy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is actually my second video for the day. But I had a mishap on the other video where I left something up and I didn't know something was up. And I was just talking over it, but yet it was just a mess. So I had to redo. And that's what it is. So um, I know you guys, a lot of you guys knew a few weeks ago, Ray J, right? Brandy brother. He had came out and said that he had been hospitalized in Las Vegas and that he had pneumonia and he had some heart issues. And he made it to the point where I'm not going to say he made it seem. He said that, or alluded to, but he actually said it, that he had like 6 months left to be on Earth, right? You know what I mean, right? And we all know that Ray J in the past have been not I won't say a little. He's been a lot. He's been performative. How about that? He performs for the camera. He likes the attention, and I kind of understand it. Um, Being in the shadows of Brandy and her stardom from such a young age to have to compete with your parents with someone like Brandy and her stardom may have been, the reason he did certain things and act a certain kind of way, or a certain way, right? Okay, whatever. However, so he said it, and he said that he was only getting 15% blood pumped to his heart, and it was an issue. Well, his mom, Sonia Norwood, Ray J and Brandy's mom, hit her social media and actually talked about it. And Ray J mom addresses rumors of her son faking his heart problems. Right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know Miss Norwood to be anything other than a very protective parent. A momager for Brandy and not letting people take advantage of her or her daughter. And this is what I know of her. I know that some people allegedly have said that she's hard to work with, but they always say that about a woman who doesn't take any crap. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I tell you one thing, she kept Brandy, as far as visually, age appropriate for as long as she could, with the braids and different things and whatever. Okay, so Sonia Norwood, Ray J's mother, has addressed the rumors of her son faking his heart problems, emphasizing that his condition is serious and real. She has urged fans to stop speculating and respect his privacy as he recovers. Norwood confirms that Ray J was hospitalized for pneumonia and heart issues, and after further tests, he was diagnosed with cardiopathy. I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. Okay. Um, Cardiomyopathy. Listen, which is a life-threatening heart condition. She called the condition life-threatening and stated that Ray J must strictly follow medication and lifestyle changes to manage the illness. Norwood firmly denies allegations that Ray J is faking his illness for attention, insisting that he is genuinely struggling with his health. And with that coming from Ms. Norwood, I have some compassion, more compassion, than just something like child. Who knows what it is? Because like I said, Ray J has been performative. A lot of Ray J is clout. Let's be clear. And listen, even this, right, with his mom coming out and speaking, which makes other people feel comfortable with feeling a certain kind of way towards Ray J and not finding out a month or two that this was all cap. You know what I mean? So coming from her, it helped. Definitely, as far as people knowing and knowing and understanding what they feel about Ray J at the moment. Um, I have my own ideas about Ray J, to be honest with you, because, like I said, Leighton likes Ratchet TV, and sometimes I watch it with him. I like it. The Bad Boys, the Bad Girls, Love Cabin. This was a show, Ray J show, and he was also the host of it, where couples, you know, I think they went through different challenges and different things for like $100,000 or something. But you got to see who Ray J was during this, because it's his show and he's the host. And I mean, very perverted, allegedly. And I ain't gonna say allegedly. Like, yo, watch the show. I'm not here to promote Ray J stuff, but you got to see who Ray J is, and whatever. So, moving along, I definitely feel differently about it. I want to send out my prayers to him and his family, and that he gets better. Now, one thing I will say: two things can be true at one time, right? Because his mother's making it feel more real, right? But then Ray J capped, because when he told the story a few weeks ago, he had 6 months left to be on Earth, and because this, that, and the third, and we find out that it is an issue. However, Reggie will be around a little longer if the Lord says the same, much longer. So that part, you know what I mean? Just for that extra oomph, to get that extra attention, that's what Ray J does. And that's what makes us need his mom to actually come on. And Ray J's a grown man with wife and children. So we shouldn't have to second guess anything he say, but between him and his cat sessions, and I'll leave other people out of it and just keep it pushing. Okay, so with that being said, um, again, we send our prayers to Ray J. Now, listen, can someone explain to me why Apple and the iPhone itself, why they are not taking full advantage of this story I'm about to tell you? Listen, I know that Apple feels like they can come out with a phone every 3 months and charge you $2,000 for it. And still, I have to tell you that the pictures on iPhones are crap. Everybody knows Samsung got the best pictures. However, why aren't they using this story? Because it's real and it's true, that as anything to promote them and to promote your apps, because your app on your phone saved a life or lives. Michael Harris, a skier from Bothell, Washington, was buried for over 4 hours in an avalanche at Stevens Pass Ski Resort. His wife, Penny Harris, used the Find My iPhone app to track his location, which was crucial in helping rescue crews find him. Despite being buried under several feet of snow, Harris managed to create an air pocket and survive the ordeal. The story of Harris surviving highlights the importance of technology and the personal intuition in emergency situations. So, I take my hat off, if I had one on. I take my hat off to his wife for even thinking of using Find My iPhone app, because when you're in high intensity things and your mind, and things are going a mile a minute and you're busy, the most simplest things that's right there, you don't think of it because your mind is pushing and trying to get everything, try to take in so much information at one time, right? So I give his wife all the credit for even saying, you know what, let me do this, because with him even being buried under several feet of snow for over 4 hours, the app they were still able to locate him and find him and rescue him. So why wouldn't iPhone and Apple, at least, I know they feel they don't need to, but this is something so positive. Free marketing. Your app on your phone saved a life or lives. You know what I mean? So I mean, I just wanted to know. Like, I found it weird. People do so much, and it's yada yada yada, and you're spending millions of dollars on iPhone and Apple products and commercials and marketing. This is free. Hello, iPhone, Apple, marketing. Hello, use the story, stupid. Are you good? Are you okay? Free marketing. Okay. So, anywho, are you guys aware that? Well, let me break this up. But are you guys aware that the tariffs allegedly have been overturned? Well, it's true. Judge rules companies are entitled to refunds for Trump tariffs overturned by the Supreme Court. In a defeat for the Trump administration, the U.S. Court of International Trade said all importers of record were entitled to benefit from the ruling against the sweeping tariffs. So yeah, I remember trying to order something maybe a month or two ago, and it was from Europe, and whatever it was, I don't even remember what it was, but I know that when I went to check out, it had these tariffs. Like it was telling me at it, the tariffs was going to be calculated at checkout, and I was like, what? So that stayed where it was because I'm not playing those games. I'm not going to play those games. So let's get into this a little bit. And yeah, and if you happen to be someone that paid tariffs during this time and stuff like that, then maybe it's helpful to you and companies. In a defeat for the Trump administration, a federal judge in New York ruled Wednesday that companies that paid tariffs struck down last month by the Supreme Court are due refunds. Judge Richard Eaton of the U.S. Court of International Trade wrote that all importers of records were entitled to benefit from the Supreme Court ruling that struck down sweeping double digit import taxes President Donald Trump imposed last year. Um, so yeah, if the shoe fit, wear it. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath about receiving refunds on tariffs. Um, Allegedly, they'll just find another way to get it. So, or to make it not matter. And then allegedly, you're not really going to hear that much about it because I heard a little bit about it, but we're at war now. We're at war. So right now, none of this is important. Because it's time now to charge what $1,000 a bullet or something like that, or war is a business. And I have to say, allegedly, we know this. So, like I said, if the shoe fits, if you have spent money on and feel like you pay tariffs, I wouldn't hold my breath about it. But yeah, it is what it is. I just wanted to let you guys know what it is. Did you guys know that Britney Spears was arrested? Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want to say that Britney's up to her old tricks because I mean it has been a very long time since Britney has really been involved in anything. But I know that her conservatorship is over, right? I believe so, allegedly. So she's free to do as she wants. I think that Britney stayed out of trouble as long as she did because there was people, allegedly her dad and others, controlling her money and stuff like that. So she was given pretty much an allowance. If she wanted to buy a house or a car, she had to get permission and things of the sort. So it's different than just waking up today and say, you know what? I feel like buying a Maybach today. And you get up and go to the deal. And no, that wasn't what she had to get permission. She had this, yeah, it had to make sense. Well, new details merge in Britney Spears' DUI arrest. Authorities suspect combination of drugs and alcohol. Girl. Okay, so there, the pop star was taken into custody in Ventura County, California, after driving erratically, according to law enforcement. And you remember back in the day, real talk, no Kiki, but it used to be Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan. If anybody was doing something or crashing a car, it was them two girls. And then like Paris Hilton was a lot, but these were the bad girls. The Lindsay Lohan and this Britney Spears, honey, they was beating the paparazzi with umbrellas and crashing cars and a bunch of mess. Well, further details have emerged in the arrest of pop star Britney Spears, who was taken into custody in Southern California on Wednesday evening on suspicion of DUI. According to law enforcement sources, authorities suspected that Spears, who's 44, was under the influence of combination of alcohol and drugs. Authorities tell Entertainment Weekly that at 8:48 p.m. a report came to the California Highway Patrol that a black BMW 430i, that's my car, okay, was driving erratically at a high speed on the 101 freeway in Ventura County. Officers are said to have pulled the car over at the Westlake Boulevard exit and found Spears alone in the car with the singer allegedly showing signs of impairment. After a series of field sobriety tests, Spears was arrested and booked into the Ventura County Jail. She was released Thursday morning. So this girl spent the night. Okay. Thursday morning, and her next court date is set for May 4th. Representatives for Spears didn't immediately respond. Okay. Miss Thing spent the night because reports came in at 8:48. So then they did some tests. They arrested her, and she was released on Thursday morning. Okay. Well, actually, I just saw some pictures of Britney Spears' sons. Oh my God, they're like grown men. Look up the pictures, you'll see it. Just Google Britney Spears' son's pictures lately. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. Thank me later. Anywho, they are grown men, so I'm just saying, look at the pictures, just Google it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, like I said, I'm sure we'll hear more. She has to go back to court on May 4th, and so I'm sure we will hear whatever is going on. Now, this is my next, and this will be my last story for the evenings, guys. I know I want you guys to get ready for the weekend. I know enjoy the weekend. I know you guys have had a long work week, whatever the weekend had for you, and so I'm going to bring up this picture, right? Because we've all been in these virtual meetings, and this virtual meetings can hold, coming off a pandemic, those of us that were working from home, which is pretty much everybody, we had these virtual meetings and everything was just, and sometimes they call a hot mic. You thought the mic was paused, and it wasn't. It was live, right? Okay, so a quick story. Personal story to let you know that this crap really does happen. I remember during the pandemic, a company I was working for, we were having a department meeting, and you know how, we've all experienced this. Those that work in departments in corporate America, you have these meetings, and then there's always these two or three at the end of every meeting when they ask, does anybody have comments or anything, want to add anything to the meeting, and then you have these two or three people that always got a bunch of questions, and you're like, everyone's like kind of rolling their eyes because it's like, are you kidding me? We've been in this meeting over an hour, and now, so this is what happened in my experience. One of the managers, she thought her mic was paused, and it wasn't. It was live, and they had asked at the end of the meeting, does anybody? And of course, like I said, a regular got up, and people were like just like over it because we had been in the meeting for so long, and she said on her live mic, not knowing it was open, oh my God, not again. She does this crap every week, and everybody heard it. And the young lady that they were talking about, she happened to be Hispanic, and she went in on the manager, a woman manager, went in on her. She was like, we all heard what you said, and I find it very disrespectful. And you could at least act like you care about what we have to say. So it went on. So what I'm saying is, and it was a thing, and the manager had to apologize and whatever. But I'm just stating that I know for a fact that stuff like this happens. So Hunter College professor Allison Friedman sparks fury as she caught on hot mic making blatant racist comments, right? So it says Hunter College placed a professor on leave days after she sparked massive backlash for making comments about Black students on a hot mic during a virtual meeting. Now, the T is, this is a public community education council meeting. So there's a lot of people. This is a public. So you have parents and students and professors and just people on it, right? So the move comes after Allison Friedman, an associate biology professor at Hunter College in New York, was caught inadvertently interrupting a Black eighth grade student concerns about the potential shutdown of her Upper West Side public school during a public community education council meeting. And this happened last month in February. So during the meeting, so this young girl, eighth grade, African American. She proposes some questions, I guess, to figure out if her school will be closing. And this biology professor didn't know her mic was on, and she says they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. Well, first off, ma'am, who's there? Who's they? They're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. So, who are we talking about? Wait a minute. Excuse me? Are you okay? What are you talking about? First of all, who's they? That's first of all. Because, see, this is the thing. It's reoccurring and it's happening. People are so comfortable. You mean to tell me that you didn't have enough self control to keep together whatever it is you thought about what this young lady was saying, the meeting until it was over? That's self-control. You know how many times we want to say stuff, but everything that pops in your head, you can't say out your mouth? Huh? Are you dumb? You're a professor, but I know that because you're a biology professor, you think that you're smarter than anybody else, right? Right? So he came across a hot mic. Well, Hunter College has suspended the professor, and I don't know if I agree with if she should be suspended. I think she should be fired. There's no, what are you doing? This is a public community education council meeting with parents, students, teachers, professors on here, right? And you blatantly say they're too dumb to know that they're in a bad school. Who's they? And then to add insult to injury, this professor, again, thinking that she's the smartest thing around, she says, we misunderstood what we heard. Even though this is a recording, you can go online and hear it. People that heard it, they misunderstood. She alleges that her daughter was sitting next to her during this meeting, and allegedly she claims she was telling her daughter what not to say to someone. Or, huh? They're too dumb to know if they're in a bad school. That doesn't even make sense, man. That's what I'm saying. Thinking you're the smartest, dumb. I mean, you're not even trying. So she's, yeah, her thing is saying that she was talking to her daughter and she was telling her daughter, we misunderstood. Your mic was hot. We heard what you said. There was no on, off, on, off. Your mic was on. We heard what you said. Wow. So again, I propose the question to my subscribers: should she be suspended or should she be fired? Like, really, there's no coming back from that. Who's going to take your class after this? And this is a Hunter College. This is a college professor. Colleges are in the business of making money, right? You're registered. You paying for your classes. You mad or not? Like, seriously, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's blatant. So I don't know. I guess we may hear a little more about it or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. It is the weirdest thing. Listen, I want you guys to be intentional. I want you to check on your strong friends and your strong family. I want you to have a great weekend. I want you to enjoy yourself. Spend some time. Listen, I want this year, like I said, I don't want be intentional to be something that I started last year when I started my page to be. No, this is ongoing. Be intentional. This is not, that wasn't just for 2025. It's on. Be intentional. Be purposeful, is that a word? Well, be intentional about who you have in your space, who you spend your time around, just the things that you wanted to do. I, not too long ago, not going to keep you too much longer, I had a friendship that I was really trying to make it work. And it was hard on both of us, me and the other person, right? Because I, again, have to accept my part in it, right? Well, can I tell you for this, and I won't just say for this new year, this has been going on for a while, for over a year, but it's it's blossomed into something really good, into a real friendship, to really caring and caring about how we approach one another and how we being very intentional of how we speak to one another, the tones we use, the words we use. And I'm not saying that she have to be tip on, but we're not kids anymore, and we can't just say, "Oh, you know how I am." That crap doesn't work anymore. That "you know who I am" crap doesn't work anymore. That's whack. There's no reason to be rude and nasty. And like I said, if you have a friendship that people say, "Oh, friendship shouldn't be that hard," sometimes they are. Sometimes they are. It depends, because if two people have had an interaction and it wasn't pleasant, that doesn't make you think well of the person. So whenever something is said or done, um, it can be taken so many ways because you're on guard, because your interactions aren't normally good with them. But guess what? They are great now. And I just wanted to put that out there. And I just want to know if you have some friendships. And I know other people that have ended friendships for the new year, and I would like to know how that's going on. Does anybody feel weird about changing certain things? We always want to change things, but sometimes how we go about it is not always the best thing. But I want to know from my subscribers, during New Year's resolutions and when you decided to go and do new things and have new people in your life, or be more open and be more approachable, how's that working for you? I want to know. We're now into March. So we're into the third month. I would like to know how New Year's resolutions are going. Send me some emails, and I want to get Leighton to do my Q&A this week, and I'm going to do my best to try to get him to do it, because I think it's going to be good for us. I think it's going to be good for the page. I think you will have a better understanding of me because I'm answering your questions that you address to me. So listen, I love you guys. I want you to have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. I will be back to you as soon as possible. Be safe out there. And again, be intentional. Love you guys. See you soon.